Hey folks, this is Ben Yessel. How's it going? Okay. I just have a few thoughts here. I might make a few more videos here tonight. So this video is gonna have to do with I'm trying to remember if I've actually addressed this before. I don't think so. I really don't think so. It has to do with the character of the Joker, and of course, which actor has played him best. And I know what you're thinking. I was like, oh, this is an effort to get more views. This is a hot button topic that everybody's gonna watch, and but it'll be worth your time. Trust me, because as some of you longer term viewers probably observe, uh, the good Lord helped me with IQ. I do have thoughts that run pretty deep. That sounds a little bit arrogant, but well, it's just the truth. Everybody's a little different, and I was blessed with insight and intelligence. Some other things were, um, well, everybody's a little different. But my videos tend to go pretty deep. So whatever you agree with or don't agree with, or whatever, that's totally fine. What you're going to get is you're going to get, just like I addressed the subject of clowns a while back, which is somewhat similar. The Jester Clown crossover, of course. But just like with that video, those videos, you'll get the full shebang here. That's for darn sure. So, point of clarification here, though, before I get into this, I have never seen the Jared. I've never seen the Jared Leto. I've never seen Jared Leto play Joker. Let me say that again. So I'm trying to talk clearly here. I've never seen Jared Leto, the Jared Leto Joker movie. Never seen it. Never saw the one with Will Smith and all that other stuff. That's whatever I did, So I'm not really going to talk about that movie, because I haven't seen it. Of course, as you could probably guess, everything I've ever heard about it was absolutely terrible, atrocious. Not so much Will Smith. I mean, think what you want about Will Smith. I'm sure Will Smith did okay, but oh, poor Jared Leto. But I have more sympathy for him. It's more sympathy rather than, or just, he's not a bad actor. Yeah, just anyway, I don't want to get into that right now. But nothing against Jared. Jared's fine. He's very disciplined vegan, all that good stuff, and he really got into the role and all that good stuff. But anyway, so let's get into this here. All right, so Cesar Romero. I like Cesar. I really do. You guys have to understand. I'm in my early 40s now. I still don't feel like I'm in my 40s. I feel like I'm in my 30s. I don't. I don't know. Age is just a number. It doesn't matter. But I'm a little over, my early 40s now. And again, I feel more like I'm in my 30s. I don't feel at all. I don't feel old at all. But um, the reason I mention that is Cesar Romero. He was around more in the, if I'm not mistaken, more in the 50s. He did some westerns, I think, or I don't know. I don't know if he did spaghetti westerns. He did stuff. I know vaguely about some of the stuff he's done. Not super familiar with his work, his movies and stuff. But this is like 40s and 50s era actor, at least 50s, and the 60s. Of course, the main thing I know him from is Batman, the Batman TV animated. Sorry, the Batman TV series in the 60s. I'll be honest, I'm not super up on my Cesar Romero um, stuff. But, I know a bit about him, and, he loved his mustache, and he didn't want to shave it for the role, so they kind of just painted over it. And that's okay, because the 60s TV show was a little campy. It was meant for kids, a little fun, right? It had its own little niche, I guess you could say. It worked very well. Um, it's interesting, when you see that stuff as an adult versus when you're a boy and seeing reruns and stuff. Um, Personally, I thought Caesar Well, most people agree that he's probably not the best Joker, but most people would probably agree that he's somewhere in the middle, or one of the somewhat better ones. But it's just a lot of times you have to take into account what the whole you have to kind of separate these things. You have to separate what the director was wanting. You have to the budget and the other actors and the script writers and there's all these things that go into it, right? We know this, but just you have to say if you're isolating his acting and just what he brought to the role, he was definitely one of the better Jokers. I like his laugh. I always thought that when he opened his eyes very wide, there was a menace to it. It was gave me chills when I was a boy. But I love Cesar Romero because in uh oh yeah, I just anyway nothing but good stuff for Caesar. So um but yeah anyway but okay. So I don't know if where I'd rank him. I don't know about the whole ranking thing, but if I did rank Caesar somewhere, it'd probably be number three. But yeah, that's pretty high. Ranked number one. No, also by the way, I'm not really. I'm only going to mention live actors here. So I understand Mark Hamill, the animated Joker stuff. If we're talking about including all the animated Jokers with the live action Jokers, Mark Hamill would be vying for number one. Well, number two maybe. I mean, Mark Hamill is amazing. He's amazing, right? Not talking necessarily about the Star Wars. Yeah, I know that's his big thing, but Mark Hamill is really, really good. He was really, really good. But I'm gonna treat I should have a separate list for the animated Jokers because it's a different kind of ball of wax there with the animated stuff. But with regard to the animated Jokers, I think Mark Hamill, by the way, is number one. If we're just talking about animated Jokers, Mark Hamill is number one. I'm not really sure who number two would be, but was it not Joe DiMaggio? He's a baseball player. It's the other DiMaggio guy. He's pretty. He's pretty. He did a really, deep voice, darker Joker, and that's a pretty strong number two spot, I think. Anyway, but I'm referring more to the live actors here. So Caesar's number three, live actors, and I haven't seen the Jared Leto Jokers, but I'm sure he's probably in last place. Sorry, Jared. Sorry. Okay, Jack Nicholson. Well, as you could probably guess, he's my favorite Joker. Jack Nicholson is one of the best actors of all time. I like a lot of things about him. I do. There's other things that I don't like about as much about him, but he's still a very interesting guy. Don't get me wrong. He is one of those actors where if he ever snubbed me, or if he ever, treated me like crud, it would be hard to deal with, but not too hard because one of the perks of getting a little bit older is you get a little less sensitive if you're a sensitive person. Or at least, if, especially, considering how much you know about Jack, if Jack ever snubs you, it's almost like an honor. Well, almost. It's like, all right, he's such a curmudgeonly guy. It's like, it's not hard to bother him. So I'm like, you give him kind of a wide berth, unless he wants to talk to you. And he is a really old man, and whatever. And we know that he's a little different than he used to be, and I think we should all be, personally, I think we should all be a little bit easier on the man. Let him have his space, let him have his time, let him have peace and quiet, let him do his thing. I didn't want to talk about Nicholson so much, but I understand he's one of those actors. I'm just like, and he's probably very familiar with people just worshiping the ground he walks on and this stuff. I don't know if I go that far, but I do think well of him. But I know that he's not also, especially upright, righteous man. But I really don't want to get into that either. Sexual morality is rampant in Hollywood. It's always been that way. Really don't want to judge the man, but I know he's lives life in the fast lane a bit that way, but aside from all that stuff, whatever so I have a lot of feelings about Jack. I do like Jack. Personally, I like Jack. I do. I just know that he can be curmudgeonly and he can have his temper and everything. But anyway, getting back to because this all factors in to my thoughts here because on some level, but Jack is ideal to play. I mean, the number one choice. He's the clearly the number one choice to ever play the Joker. I've never seen. I don't know a single actor that was just like born to play the Joker more than Jack Nicholson. You may say, "Oh, Jim Carrey," and the Riddler. Yeah, Riddler's kind of like Joker's younger brother. Riddler is kind of similar. And let's face it, it was the best Riddler was probably the one on the '60s show. What's the guy's name? Oh, I'm sure if I remembered it. I know his face. I just trying to remember his name. I can't remember his name. Anyway, that guy, the manic guy, is probably the best Riddler. But you might think Jim is the best. But some people would say Jim Carrey could be the best. And by the way, I should um, mention something here. There was a Joker I didn't remember to include here. So let me revise my list here so far. My apologies. It's kind of recent for this new Joker movie, which is a completely different take on Joker, of course. Cesar's actually probably number 4. I'll give him number 4 spot. I know, debatably. Yeah, so I think you know what I'm talking about. And of course, then Jared is way down, 5, 6. There's probably a Joker I'm not thinking of, but Cesar is number 4 then. So Jack Nicholson, obviously number 1 Joker, best Joker of all time. The man he haunts my nightmares, man. If I ever have a nightmare about the Joker, it's Jack Nicholson. Whenever I'm picturing the Joker, it's Jack Nicholson. It's Jack Nicholson. Why wouldn't it be Jack Nicholson? He's got the eyebrows. He's got the laugh. He's got the that 1989 Batman movie is the one. That is the one. That's Batman. It's like Christopher Reeve Superman. That's the Batman movie. If you want to see Batman, that's the one you see. Think what you want about Christian. I'm not talking about the Batman actors. I know you can get to that in the video if you want. So Jack Nicholson, number 1. Number 1. Okay. Heath Ledger. Now you're probably wondering, between Joaquin Phoenix and Heath Ledger, who's going to be number 2 and my number 3 Joker? Because Cesar Romero is bumped down to number 4. I know. So who's number 2 and who's number 3? Oh man, I'm going to get some crap from this. I will. I don't know. I think all you guys probably love both those guys, of course. See, the thing is, I love Heath. I love Heath, and he put absolutely everything he had in that role, everything, and he did a freaking good job. The thing is that I don't know. I think this is something that Jack Nicholson kind of knew about, because Nicholson's a deep guy. He's smart. He's got a lot of sides to him. He uses his intensity, all kinds of things. He can use all kinds of things to bring to, darker roles and stuff, but. Of course. Heath is more like me, where it's a little bit more unusual to see Heath as a villain. When I say he's more like me, he's not. He's different, right? He is a different guy. But what I'm trying to say is that Heath is not someone you think of to play a villain. He really isn't. And Christopher Nolan saw something in Heath, and he was right. Heath does have a great deal of capacity to play a villain, as we saw in The Joker. Of course. I think, he's younger, of course. Everyone says, oh, he's younger, he's more built, or he's just strong. He's not super buff. Of course, we all know this, right? But he wasn't, Jack was not a wimp. Jack's not a wimp, but he was more middle-aged, of course, when he played the Joker. And I don't know. I don't want to get into all that stuff, but it's just so everyone says, "Oh wow, Joker's more athletic." But they had freaking Michael J. White there, man. Like, yeah, he's like, enough of the clown, right? He has a small role, but like, Michael J. White is, how can I put this? Tough, right? He's the big boy. Now, you guys have probably seen all kinds of videos analyzing everything he did. A lot of what was going on there with that whole take on the Joker was Christopher Nolan's idea, which he knew was going on. But so much of what's going on with that other character that's a lot more blow up people for fun, like it's like, keep getting more and more villainous, or more and more. I guess you could say that the body count keeps going up. Maybe not necessarily more nightmarish, but at least it's certainly more. He's certain. The idea is it's just more, ha ha ha, you know, kind of thing, right? Oh, it's too bad, so sad they died. Boo hoo hoo. Whatever. Heartless. We all know Jack Nicholson was a lot more skilled at combining the evil with the funny, right? That was his thing. I certainly like Heath Ledger as the Joker. He even passed up Cesar Romero. That's saying something. That is saying something. But it doesn't quite get the number 2 spot. Sad, Heath is number 3. Heath is number 3. I gotta tell you guys, as it goes without saying, the number 2 spot goes to Joaquin Phoenix. Joaquin is competing with Jack Nicholson. Joaquin Phoenix is one of the best actors I have ever seen. Ever. Ever. He's one of the best actors ever. If I ever became a vegan, there's a strong possibility that Joaquin Phoenix would convince me to do that. I have the utmost respect for Joaquin Phoenix. I'll put this, I have profound respect for the man. Profound. I don't always agree with everything he does. It's not like I worship the ground he walks on, but honestly, Joaquin is, to me, he's just an amazing guy. And this is, he's a very different guy than me. He's more liberal, he's whatever. I just think very highly of him as a person, and especially as an actor. He just is insanely good. He's insanely good. He's mind-blowingly good. The actor that played Joker, that Jack Nicholson himself would say probably did the best job other than him. Jack Nicholson might give Cesar the number 2 spot. Yeah, but Joaquin would be a strong contender. They might be tied there. Now, of course, Jack certainly likes Heath, but he'd probably give Heath again, but he'd probably rank Heath a little bit better than Leader, right? So, that's Nicholson. Anyway, I know that Nicholson likes Cesar, but and again, all these things, they're very influenced also by the director and by the director's vision and the whole feel of the movie and all kinds of stuff like that, right? So, as we know, Joaquin Phoenix, something to say, oh, this is a completely different storyline. It's a completely different take of the Joker. But why would you include this with the other Jokers that are a little bit more, well, yes and no. Yes and no. It's a live action, guys, right? Live action. So again, just to go down this list here, it is Jack Nicholson gets my first place. He's the first place for the Joker. Number 2 is definitely Joaquin Phoenix, when he played the Joker. Number 3 is Heath Ledger. Number 4 is brain freeze. Cesar Romero. Number 5 is Jared Leto. But I can't really comment too much on Leto because I've never seen the movie, but I don't really care to. If I want to endure something, I suppose maybe I'll endure that. No, it's not even worth enduring. Sorry, Jared. Maybe I'll see it one of these days. Maybe. Is it really possible to? No, I don't know. The Joker was never a pretty boy, or he was never a super slim guy with a sporty car. That's not the Joker. The Joker is like, he's got in one pocket in his shirt, he's got a toy flower thing that squirts not water but acid at you. And in the other pocket, he's got a gun or I don't know, you know what I mean? He's got all this crap all over him that's just like gags and weapons, knives and whatever. And his teeth are yellow, and he'll take nothing of, well, anyway, he's very, very unpredictable. Okay, so just to wrap up this video, thoughts on the Joker. Because, now I want to get into the psychology of the guy. And I mentioned some thoughts about clowns earlier. And it's the white face paint, right? It's the thing that links them all together. And it's the entertainers. So clowns are supposed to be entertainers. They're supposed to be funny. Jesters were more intelligent kinds of clown-esque characters. And they would jest, right? They would make jokes. Sometimes they would poke fun at the king, but only with the king's permission. Otherwise, it's off with the jester's head. But the king would get a kick out of the jester, right? So the jester, in medieval times would entertain the king. So jesters looked a little differently than clowns. Whatever, the greenish, the green purple, whatever thing going on there. And clowns, of course, were the red and the yellow, or something. I don't know. It's like, yeah, whatever color you want, I guess. And so it's interesting because you have these two different kinds of entertainers that have kind of stayed in the back of our minds. Between the two, which one do we find more frightening, the jester type character or the clown? Probably the clown. You know, sure, but the jester is um, still factors in there somewhere. But I kind of feel like at this point, there's other than Joaquin Phoenix doing some more movies, the Joker's really been just like Batman and Joker. That they've boy in Spider-Man, we've had enough actors play these roles. We need to do some different things, please, Hollywood, please. But you guys have heard me rant about this before. Just a lot. But well, I'll definitely see more Joaquin Phoenix stuff, man. Definitely will. But there's always the question of, I'm not huge into the comics of, we can talk about the comics and all this stuff, and I don't. I have some frames of reference here, folks. So I have seen a fair bit of Batman. Okay. Even those 60s shows, yes, and Bruce Lee was in it, yes, I know. Okay, so, but which of these different movies and TV shows and which actor really, I guess the question is, which one gets at my idea of the Joker? If I was reading, if I wanted to watch a movie or read a book, comic book, whatever, about the Joker, which actor comes closest to my own preconceived notions about the Joker? Which one comes closest? Well, it would be Jack Nicholson. Does Jack have to be super slim, or does it have to be very, very gaunt to play the Joker? Because the Joker is usually portrayed as being a little bit more gaunt, right? Is Cesar Romero, or is it more? Jared Leto is very slim, sure, but I mean, is it someone just because Joaquin Phoenix lost a lot of weight? I mean, he was bony, man. Well, it's the smile, guys. It's the eyebrows. It's the manic look in his eye. It's the laugh. It's the deeper voice that Nicholson has. It's all that stuff. That's the Joker, man. Now, you might think, oh, Mark Hamill. Mark Hamill, the animated series, is really the best one. Okay. Because I said Mark Hamill is my number one animated, one. So maybe if you had... No, I don't know. It's kind of, for me, it's closer to Nicholson, really. Nicholson is the number one of number ones, with Hamill being a close number two, then Joaquin Phoenix number three. If you want to go that route. And then I guess you could say probably Heath Ledger, then Cesar, then close tied with DiMaggio, then still Leto last. I just haven't seen as much as DiMaggio's Joker, right? Deeper voice, of course. But yeah, and then it's it's just you guys. For instance, the scene where Jack Nicholson playing the Joker, he's in Vicky Vale's house. He just drops in, right? And of course, Bruce Wayne, Batman, is there as well. He has to think fast, to kind of try to figure out how to work the situation. Okay, right. Joker knows him as Bruce Wayne, of course. Joker doesn't know him as Batman, of course. Um, it was the way that Nicholson, his smile, man, and his malevolent, his what's the word I want to use? Mischievous. It's in between mischievous and malevolent. It's like that look he had when when he slid over and said, "Never rub another. I can't never rub another man's rhubarb." Right? Just the way he moved into the camera, slid on, it just it was perfect, right? It was perfect. It's the perfect. It's like it haunts my dreams, right? And the whole scene is the Joker. It's the Joker, right? The whole thing. It's perfect. Everything you said. And then when he had the pen is mightier than the sword. It was the way he looked. He was dressed up like a mime, with the white, black face paint. It's mostly white, I think. What was it? I don't know. Anyway, everybody's dressed up like kind of like mimes. He might have looked a little differently. I don't know, but perfect. And just the whole scene was just perfect. I don't know. I keep saying it's perfect, perfect, but it is perfect. I mean, if there's anybody that would ever be my dreams, that would be like a Joker-like character. It's Jack Nicholson's character. Right? Obviously, number one. He's the number one guy. Okay. And so I was going to talk a little bit about the Joker on some deeper level, subconsciously. No, it's just his unpredictability, right? Do we fear the Joker? Is he a scary guy? Kinda. Well, it's like because he's a real person. He's not a superhero, and he's not. Well, he's not. He doesn't have. He doesn't have powers that go beyond a regular human's powers. He doesn't have superhuman powers. So he's not. He's not a supervillain. He's not. Right. He's the Joker is just like Lex Luthor. Lex Luthor is just rich or he's money hungry or whatever. He's conniving that way. Just Joker's a regular guy. He's not. He doesn't have superhuman powers. He's not Pennywise. He can't shapeshift. Someone says, well, maybe he has a lot. He can handle a lot more pain, right? Because he's able to do all this stuff that's pretty brutal. Maybe maybe. He's definitely not. There's a lot of psychological stuff you talk about with the guy. In the psychological stuff, this is where you get, yeah, he's a scary dude. He's scary. He's scary not because he's physically dangerous, but because he's so evil. But is he evil or is he just insane? He's kind of both, And you guys, there's all kinds of videos about Joker's personality and his psychology. Do we fear someone because they're very unhinged? And they're in between that evil type character, truly evil, and they're just a character who's just completely crazy. Do we fear them? Um, how do we feel about them? There's a lot of mixed feelings that everybody has about them because I know we just keep going on and on about this stuff. Apparently, it just happens. There are many things I notice about the world at large. Okay, the world at large. And it's based on people I know at the time, and what's going on online, and people in my life. It seems to me like there are a lot of complete babies out there. I just a lot of whiners, a lot of people that are just. I honestly feel like I'm like John Rambo compared to most people. I really do. I mean, and I'm not the toughest guy in the world, but so we have so many babies out there. Just when I was a little, maybe it is an age thing. As you get older, you get tougher emotionally. You can handle more. And I should never call kids, but I don't. Kids aren't babies. They're but teenagers. But like, honestly, man, like I don't know. Maybe it's better to be a baby than it is to be super thick skinned. I don't know. It's just, oh man. So it's frightening though. It's frightening when you're in a room with someone who's the Joker, when you're unarmed, because you're not sure what he's gonna do, and it's dark, right? It's frightening. If Joker's armed, if Joker's unarmed, it's still kind of frightening because it's like even the Joker's not a big boy. He's still like, if he has a high pain threshold, he doesn't mind getting beat up a little bit. If you are a little bit more sensitive to pain, boy, he's gonna just go to town on you, man. It's like who's more vulnerable that way? It's probably the other person, not the Joker. That's just kind of the fighting kind of thing. Joker's not really a tough guy. He doesn't fight. He just plays with people's emotions. It's like the guy that keeps toying with your fears and with your emotions. It just plays with your mind. That's why he's so dark. That's why he's so scary. That's why he's so effective as a villain. I still think, I don't mind having other Jokers. I seriously don't. I think I mentioned before, just recently on this film video, we had a lot of Jokers, right? Oh my gosh. I really wish though that they get to they see, oh, he's such an evil guy. There's so much there. Yes, there is. But some of these directors just miss the boat, kind of. They just kind of just go a little bit too much one side of the direction. This is who the Joker is. The Joker wants, what does he want? Because if Joaquin Phoenix, he's not going to do this. He's going, I don't know. Maybe I could be wrong, but the Joker, I mean, if I was a director of a movie, all this stuff, the Joker, is a kind of guy that based just purely just what he says is so freaking evil, and it's not only evil, but it's like he should be a bully, but he also should kind of get in your head. The Joker is a emotionally intimidating person, and he should be toying with people psychologically, right? Absolutely, like manipulating people. Um, that's who I think the Joker is. Other than, in addition to the whole clowny thing and or Jester thing and all the jokes and all that stuff, right? The dark. If you want to go darker, and this video might end in a sec, but